You belong to the night. I don't even know why the fuck I'm singing that song. 80s shit right there. You belong to the city. Oh, 1986 ass song out of here. Let's see if anybody gonna come in here at 1 in the morning on a Thursday. Well, it's Friday morning now. Shit. Here we go. What's up, y'all? What's up, Dre Day by the time? Tank Strong. Oh, shit, you got 10 people up in this bitch. Yeah, what y'all doing up this late? What y'all doing watching old Arsenio Hall reruns or some shit? Tank Strong said, I'm smoking, I got court in the morning. What's up, Hattie? Amir? Oh yeah, Dre Day, you at work. Well, you said you in Brooklyn, so shit. It's 4 a.m. in Brooklyn. Might as well be 4 p.m. the way y'all New Yorkers get down. Shit. By the time said I ain't sleepy yet. Yeah, I'm staying. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to be with y'all tomorrow. I got like 3 readings tomorrow, and I'm busy. So, hey, y'all hold on 1 second, all right? Y'all give me 20 seconds. I'll be right back. Give me 20. I gotta get some water real quick. Look at the moon. Beautiful, ain't it? There we go. I had to get some water. But you said you tapping in from the psych hospital or nurse station. Okay, cool. You tapping in from the nurse station. I'm about to say, don't be busting out the psych ward like Murdoch from the A-Team. Don't do that. Well, you said nurse station. Man, them psych, like, I don't know who was that said you work in a psych ward. Man, protect your mental health, please. I appreciate the Andrew Como, but please, if you work in a psych ward, please protect your mental health, please. You're around you're around a lot of crazy static energy. Protect your mind, please. Like, get some grounding stones. If you work in a psych ward, I don't know what you into, but get yourself some black tourmaline crystals. Get some black kyanite, some blue kyanite. Make sure you stay grounded. That black tourmaline is gonna go a long way for you if you work in a psych ward. Just have some black tourmaline in your pocket. Because just the energy being in that environment with so many people who are compromised mentally, man. I remember I used to go in psych hospitals, the Kedron Psych Hospital out here in LA with the kids. Man, I would have one of my kids I would get kids that would be on a 3-day or a 7-day hold, sometimes a 14-day in the psych ward. Man, that energy is tough in the psych ward. You got to deal with a lot. You really do. Yeah, Tank Strong. I love the Far Side Studio. But Brown be on the road with the Far Side. I think that's what it was. Brown just be on the road so much now. Craig Craig Facts Tuesday and Thursday, and Brown been getting a lot of road. You know, he been back on the road, so we had to move on. But we went in Far Side Studios too. But salute to you working in the psych ward. Yeah, I hear you. By the time I'm up too like that, I change up. I stopped. One of my biggest issues is eating late. I stopped eating late so much. My energy is crazy. I've always had a lot of energy, no matter how bad. But now my energy is damn near back to where it was in my 20s. I started working at 8 this morning. I did damn near 4 hours of podcasting with Craig Facts today. Did some more work when I got home. Now I'm talking to y'all, and I'll be right back up at 9 in the morning. My first reading is at 9 in the morning. So that means I'll probably be up like at 7:30 or 8 in the morning. And I probably won't get done working tomorrow till about 2, 3 in the morning. I got to go. Yeah, I appreciate what you do, Taylor Anderson. But yeah, what's up, Kenneth Berry? I want to talk a little bit about what's up, Deep Impressions, about this whole Brett Favre situation and him taking that money to build a volleyball stadium for it, or whatever the fuck his daughter play. The same state that can't secure funding to fix the broken water system at the state capitol and how that ties into crime. I want to have this discussion, and I'm gonna do some more. I think I'm waiting till Tuesday's Craig Facts to really break down the cause and effect relationship of crime. Crime has a cause and effect relationship. Everything in life has a cause and effect relationship. But unfortunately, people like to look at the effect and judge the effect of things in vacuums. That's when they say, what about black on black crime? That's when they say we just need to do better. Because there's been a whole lot of cooning this week on social media. That y'all know me, when I see cooning, I gotta address that shit, especially when it's coming from black folks. And I will so go so far as to call it unaware cooning, automatic reaction cooning, like program cooning, because we program like a motherfucker. So even people going through the process of deprogramming themselves can still get caught up in the unconscious cooning. And when I say that, it stems on the heel of that shooting of that brother, that rapper, P&B Rock, rest in peace, and the fact that his murder happened where it happened, South Central LA. There's been so many people talking about, it shouldn't have happened that way. People should be able to wear their jewelry and do whatever. Well, not so much. Crime is one of those things that happen because of resources or lack thereof. And when you have a lack of resources, you guarantee you're going to have a rise in crime. Guaranteed. Social engineering, Social engineering is real. And what happens is, if you have an environment where there are 100 people, but there are only adequate resources for 60 or 70 of those 100 people, Out of the 30 or 40 people left out of resources, a small percentage of that are going to turn to crime. Because still out of the 30%, well, I'll say a percentage. Because still, that 30-40% that don't have resources, all of them ain't going to go to crime. A lot of them, most of them are going to actually find legal ways to make a living and make it happen. But there will be a portion of them that go to crime to make it happen. And out of that portion that goes to crime to make it happen, there'll be a portion that's going to get killed. And that's just how society works when there's an imbalance of resources. So, and that's also what happens. People got to remember there are two laws of nature that you got to remember. Law of what did I say? This isn't law of reciprocity. I was about to say law of reciprocity, but the law of cause and effect, and the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence is one of the 7 laws of nature, and that is as above, so below. That's what they call the law of correspondence. As within, so without, as above, so below. Basically saying that in any organism and in life overall, as things happen above, things will happen below. So, how you transfer that into a message for what's going on in the society. If you live in a criminal society where criminal activity is okay and greenlit at the top, you can guarantee there will be a criminal element of society at the bottom and all levels in between. Let me say that again. If you live in a society that greenlights corruption, the way the United States society does, there will be corruption at all levels amongst all people. Underline all. Triple, quadruple, quintuple, underline the word all. La, 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 la. And the crimes are going to be relative to the environment. And on all levels of a country that murders to make its point and to enforce its will, there are going to be murder and killings at all levels. You know, those of us who are aware and awake, there's questions about in rest in shit because he was a racist piece of shit. But Judge Scalia, Supreme Court Justice, people just forget about how he died back in 2015 when he died? 2016 when Scalia died? That motherfucker went down to a ranch that only powerful people have access to. Motherfucker died out of nowhere. The news didn't have no... This is a Supreme Court Justice who was healthy when he went to this ranch. Just went to that motherfucker and died. And the news said, rest in peace, Scalia. And we just supposed to forget, like, hey, what the fuck happened? You don't think something happened? I'm not saying something did. I don't know. But how did a perfectly healthy Supreme Court justice go to a ranch that's only for powerful people that do all kind of secret shit and die in that motherfucker? And ain't nobody saying nothing. We live in a thug country. We live in Thugville, y'all. For real, for real. Lincoln was murdered. You know what I mean? Lincoln was murdered as the president. You don't think there's gonna be criminal elements and criminal activities below? Look at what's going on right now. Look, going back to Brett Favre. A government allowed a former football player that was a drug addict. A government took money, tax money, that people pay into. They took it to build a fucking girls' volleyball stadium for a former drug addict, probably still drug addict, proven drug addict. That's not alleged. He said it in fucking Sports Illustrated. He was hooked on those painkillers. That's not even alleged. That's something that he said. Brett Favre himself on goddamn Real Sports and shit. And they literally took the money directly from the welfare system for poor people, mostly black in that state. Thug elements all around. Look at on the highest level for the wealthy. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff was a rich Jewish man who stole billions from wealthy Jews. You had a rich Jewish man stealing billions of dollars from wealthy Jewish people. I mean, we live in straight up Thugville. Gary Webb exposed the crack epidemic. What's going on with, first of all, you had Oliver North, a military general that was pushing cocaine and crack into LA, fucking military general that oversaw goddamn crack cocaine coming in to Southern California and through Florida, killing tens of thousands of people a year. And then Gary Webb goes to discover it and to put it out there to the news, and he ends up with 2 bullets in the side of his head. And they said it was suicide. I mean, murder all around. I mean, everywhere you look. Don't listen to me. Just listen to the slogan. What's the slogan? What they say? Behind every great fortune is a great crime. So you can damn guarantee every fortune you see out there happened because somebody fucking died. Somebody's innocent family member. I mean, come on now. We live in a thug society. The United States is run by thugs. So when you talk like this, you always get these simple brained people that be like, well, I ain't making no excuses. You just making an excuse. It ain't no excuse for criminal activity. I was poor. I didn't rob nobody. All right. If that's how you think, I can try to educate you and help you out. As far as that's what I'm trying to do in this talk that we having right now, talking about the cause and effect relationship of crime. Hopefully, you'll understand what I've been saying, or as I keep talking, maybe at some point it'll click. But if you don't want to hear what I have to say, as far as understanding crime and where it comes from, and you want to stay stuck on the simple mindset of it ain't no excuse for crime no matter what you say, then if you're listening later on, I don't want to hear your comments. I don't want to read your comments. You're not going to say anything worth me reading. Just go. I appreciate that, Akuma 80s. Raised in Southern California, living in South Carolina, SC to SC. And how you make that transition? What's up, DeCarlo? What's up, YouTube subscriber? So it's like, yeah, I appreciate that. Cause like me, I'm not speaking as some oracle that just knows it all, y'all. Like I had to grow and evolve too. I used to be the very judgmental, like that. Look, my car, I'm a king of clubs. one of the difficulties of a king of clubs is being too judgmental. And I used to be hella judgmental. I used to be hella like, man, they need to know better. I'm tired of these. Man, I had to learn. One of my wife's nicknames, my wife calls me Benjamin Button sometimes. Because she be like, the older I get, the younger I am. And the younger my mind, the younger I act. My wife been knowing me since the 7th grade. She was like, man, you was the oldest ass fucking 10th grader I ever knew in my life. How harsh I used to judge. I've been through that. And I've been through all that to say, all those years of judgment, thinking that, you know, I know what's right for other people, that didn't do shit for me. It's like the more you judge other people, the harsher you judge other people, is the harsher you end up judging yourself. That's usually what happens. What's up, Positive Influence? I appreciate that, DeCarlo. Yeah. What's up, Miss Porsche? I ain't seen Miss Porsche in a minute. What up? Miss Porsche must be coming in lately in the replays. Check in with us, Miss Porsche, when you're around. But as we grow, we learn. And one thing I learned was the harsher I judge other people, the harsher I judge myself. And the harsher I judge myself, the more limits I put on myself. Because you end up subconsciously creating the limits on yourself that you put around other people. Now you're unwilling to step outside of these false boundaries that you created for yourself. Didn't nobody ask you to create these boundaries? These boundaries ain't pay you no more money. But it happened because this is what you set for other people. And all that does is lead to frustration. You get frustrated and you don't grow as a person. And that's a tough spot to be in. Miss Porsche been working in 19-hour days lately, huh? That's true, S-Rep. Actually judging yourself to other people reveal your own insecurities. That's right. That's right. The point is to live judgment-free. That's the point. To live without judging yourself. To live without judging other people. That's what you want. Hold on, got these little kittens. Yeah, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're talking. But, man, what do you call it? Animal control. Got these two little baby kittens that just started coming around my house in the last fucking 3 or 4 nights. I just saw this raccoon walking through. I was hoping this little raccoon got their ass. I'm just playing. I got all kind of nature around. I'll be happy seeing all kind of coyotes, possums, raccoons. All that shit be running around here. Two little kids better watch the fuck out. This nigga said spy kittens. Yeah. But yeah, look, I just saw that raccoon about 10 minutes ago when I walked up. I just saw that raccoon. That motherfucker be coming up over here in this tree sometimes. I think that raccoon got some little food up in that tree, some in that tree. I love nature though, I do. But all I know is them two little kittens better watch out for that raccoon. That raccoon gonna tear their motherfucking ass up. You said Peter has entered the chat. Oh, you see, downtown is full of rats. That's why I don't fuck with, look, most true LA niggas don't fuck with downtown. Downtown's where people who move to LA go to. If you from LA, you don't really deal with no fucking downtown. Now, every now and again, you may meet somebody who moved down there, so they, in because they got some them new apartments, but that's even rare. I would go so far as to say 95% of the people you meet in downtown LA, like if they're like living downtown LA or like they're like socializing, like if they black and like they're socializing downtown LA, if it's on a party scene, I would say 80% of them weren't born in LA. They were like born somewhere else and they lived there. If they live in downtown LA, probably 95% of black people who live in downtown LA ain't from LA. I'll go so far as say 95, 96% ain't from LA. You don't fuck with them. They don't see, this is what happened. And I'm gonna get back to what we're talking about. They built Staples Center that opened up in 99, 2000, Staples Center. And they built that shit to gentrify downtown. And they done invested tens of billions of dollars in downtown. And that place is still a fucking dump full of rats. I don't go to that bitch. I go to downtown to Siri just jumped up. I said Laker games. Siri just jumped in with a Laker game, like with Laker schedule. But downtown, man, that's for Laker games. That's it. Outside of Laker games, I can't tell you anything I do in the fucking. Oh, it'd be a whole bunch of good ass weed dispensaries downtown. So I do buy weed downtown fairly often. Other than that, downtown rat infested. Hell, the mayor's mansion is rat infested. Like, I mean, not mayor's mansion, the city hall. They had to shut. People don't tell y'all. They had to like shut city hall down and have people work from home. Like the pandemic was one of the best things that happened to city hall because right before the pandemic, the rat infestation at LA City Hall. You know that big old fake ass obelisk looking building, that fake ass Tekken building in downtown. That shit was too many fucking rats. Like the coronavirus was when people couldn't come, and then when that happened, they like sprayed the building down, and they said the rat infestation isn't as bad. But before the coronavirus, man, LA City Hall was just full of rats. Fuck downtown. Fuck downtown. Fuck downtown. But what was I talking about? I think it's an energetic thing too with them. I think it's also an energetic thing. Rats are around, like, the city hall is a filthy place as far as the things that they do with their power. So maybe that's what attracts the rats, you dig? But back to what we talking about. we talking about like when it comes down to it, I used to be very judgmental, and I saw that didn't get me anywhere, and I didn't learn anything from the judgment. It didn't get me anywhere, and I didn't learn anything. It didn't get me anywhere, and I didn't learn anything. You really start to see as you get older that it's not about the judgment. You got to see that people are just living out their life. They're living out their cards. And being a cardologist, somebody who reads the cards, you really do get to see that everybody just has their own personality. And at the end of the day, everybody's living out their cards. And everybody's cards, everybody's life has a high vibration and a low vibration. Some people live out on a high vibration, some people live it out on a low vibration. And then within high vibration and low vibration, there are varying degrees. And the degrees of high vibration you go are relative to your highest vision of yourself and what in the pedigree you're born in. Same with low vibration. Told you that's a song by Funkadelic called Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts. If you want to listen to a song on the surface, this song sounds weird as fuck. I talk about this song all the time because it's actually early, before screw music. This is a screw song 30 years before screw. A song called Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts by Funkadelic. And it's George Clinton talking through a distorted amp. And Eddie Hazel playing a guitar in the background. And it's really a song about metaphysics and life and how you see life. And it's this line in the song where it says, you ascend to the highest concept of yourself and you descend to the lowest form of your thoughts. Every thought is a seed that germinates. So watch the thoughts, seeds that you plant in your mind. Funkadelic and Parliament Funkadelic used to be, if you listen to that music, they were on some real deep shit, but it's coded up in party music. Parliament Funkadelic was saying some real, they were tapping into some real shit. Free your mind and your ass to follow. Free your mind and get off your ass. But I said that to say, we all live in our life on our vibration, and how you see yourself, your concept of self determines the level you live this life on. So when I would hear people say that, but when I really truly understood that concept, I probably was like 38, 39 when I really truly understood that concept. And that when I understood that freed me to, one, let it go. Two, it freed me because I'm like, man, at the end of the day, I want to be my best self. And it'd be too impossible to be my best self if I'm focused on other people. If I'm focused on their struggle versus my struggle. Oh, woe is me. I wish you couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. All that bullshit. I realized that mindset wasn't doing shit for me, nigga. And that mindset had me stressed out like a motherfucker, man. And I don't like being stressed out. 2 or 3 years ago, I was tired. Like, my energy wasn't that good. I'm over here going to bed at fucking 10:30 at night, waking up at 7 or 8, tired as fuck. Fucked up mindset, man. Had me fucked up. I had to let that shit go so I could sleep good. And I don't like sleeping a long time either. Give me a good 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours strong, and I'm good. I like going 18 hours a day, start to finish. That's just how I get down. Nigga, when I was in college, when 9/11 hit, I had a 7 a.m. class. My first class was 7 a.m. It was the only class I had 4 days a week. It was a math class. 7 a.m. And usually I was done with school by either the 10:30 slot or the 12:30 slot. But usually by 12:30 I was done with school. Monday and Wednesday. And then I went to work at the bank Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. And then half day on Saturday, all day Friday. I played the drums in 2 different bands at church and at this other band called Room 16. I used to play basketball 5 to 6 days a week, and I used to party 7 nights a week. My schedule in college was from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. every day. Even on Sunday, I had to play drums at church on Sunday. Usually I'd be coming in straight from the club. I still had a goddamn wristband on my wrist playing the drums at 8 a.m. service at church because I got home like at 7 in the morning to take a shower and get right back out there on the drums. Nigga, I like moving, goddammit. So when I, a couple years ago, was sleeping a lot and drudging around and slugging around, I was like, nah, hell nah. I gotta fix this shit. I gotta fix this shit. And I saw one of those major things that was really making me sluggish and depressed. Like, not really depressed, but sluggish and like tired all the time, was thinking too goddamn much and in my head too much and being too critical. And that critical nature of mine that I was putting out on everybody else, that shit had my ass under locked up. I was wrapped up and locked up in my own mind. And that's some tiring shit, boy. Talk about chasing you. You want to be chasing your own fucking tail like a stupid ass dog? Lock yourself up in your own mind. If you locked up in your mind, just picture a dog chasing his tail and licking his nuts. That's you. Think about that shit. when you allow your mind to really get in your own way, you the dog chasing his tail and licking his nuts. You ain't doing shit. Just tired for no goddamn reason. If you're gonna be tired, at least make it be because you ran a fucking marathon or some shit. And you got a reward for it. Don't be tired from chasing your tail and licking your nuts. Oh, that's why, J. Cole, you got a job interview, smash that motherfucker. Hell yeah, Chocolate City is a gym. What's up, Morris Bell? Yeah, Five Life, you gotta learn, man. That, like, man, we ain't born knowing this shit. Like most of this, we born knowing the basic laws of nature, you know what I mean? But the rest of the shit we gotta experience to know. You gotta kind of go through some shit to learn some shit. You kind of gotta go through some shit to learn some shit. Like I told you, I didn't really feel comfortable coming out talking the way I talk now until the last couple years. I've always had a high level of wisdom on me because I've always been the kind of, when I was young, when I was in my 20s, I was always around 15, my dad and his friends, my whole life, even my teens. But it's one thing to have a certain level of wisdom about something. It's another thing to have experiences to go along with it. You know what I mean? When you have them experiences where you done knocked yourself up out the head 15,000 goddamn times and you finally figured it out, at that point, you feel a little more comfortable being like more open talking the way I talk. Cause it's like, I made some stupid ass decisions, boy. I done wrapped up my mind on some straight up bullshit. Worthless, meaningless bullshit. But fixated on that shit for years. Draining all kind of mental energy. Chasing my motherfucking tail, licking my nuts. That's a good one. Depression is consistently roasting yourself mentally. That's real talk. That is what depression is. Depression truly is you consistently roast. That's a good one. You roasting yourself mentally. Yep. I can agree to that. Because when you depressed, every little thing you do, why I do that? I should have did it this way. Man, something wrong with me. Man, everybody else is doing it right. I ain't shit. That's all you doing when you depressed. I keep fucking up. Damn. I wanna go over there, but those people won't like me. They won't accept me. Oh, I wanna do this, but I don't think I'm good enough. I know, matter of fact, I know I ain't good enough. That's what depression be. Depression's a hater ass bitch. I swear to God, if I ever saw depression face to face, I'd knock that bitch out. I swear, man, if I ever saw depression face to face, like man, I got a 12 gauge. Douche. I'm not even gonna get no buckshot. I'm doing a straight up slug in that bitch. I got 1 in the clip and 6 in the chamber. 12 gauge. All slugs. Do, do, do. The depression, that motherfucker right there, that's a hard bitch to shake. But you can shake depression. I've done it. Hell yeah, positive influences on site for depression. If I ever saw depression walking down the street, shit. Nigga, I'd turn into a 1870s Klan member and learn how to tie a motherfucking noose. And lynch that bitch. Nigga, I'll find the tree. And lynch that motherfucking bitch. That's what I do with depression if I ever saw that bitch. But since we can't do that with depression is a very slick hoe that know how to slither through the cracks. Depression knows how to tell you the things that you want and value in life you'll never be able to attain. Depression knows that thing that happened to you in that point of your life that made you start doubting yourself. And depression constantly reminds you of that moment. And depression gets you to think that you are that moment or that series of incidents that led you to the false conclusion about yourself that you drew. That's what depression does. Depression tries its best to convince you that you are your thoughts, that you are your actions. So for those of you who are out there suffering from depression, let me give you some advice. It's a few things I want you to do. You have to, one, know this without a shadow of a doubt. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are not you. Thoughts come and go. They just do. If I sat here and told you right now, stop thinking, what's the first thing that's going to happen? You're going to think. So thoughts are going to come. They're going to come. You have a choice on whether or not you give those thoughts energy. That's what you do control. You control the energy your thoughts get. That's what you control. So as the thoughts come through, when they're negative, you can choose to let them go or you can choose to accept them. And what happens when you're suffering from depression, the positive thoughts, you willingly let go. The positive thoughts, you deny. You say, no, that's not real. The positive thoughts, you say, oh no, that can't be real because I'm woompty wham, woompty wham. So you willingly let go of the positive thoughts. While when the negative thoughts come, you grab and hold on to those hoes. And you treat the negative thoughts as if they're real. And you allow those negative thoughts to define you. And that's how you continue to spin it when you're in depression. So you must now take control. And when the negative thoughts come, you have to let them go. And you have to practice. And I guarantee you, you're going to get a lot of practice. And you're going to lose a lot of those battles. But you got to keep battling, because they'll reach a point to where you start losing less battles, and then it'll get to a point to where you win more, and you lose less, and then you get to the point to where it's basically automatic for you to hold on to the positive thoughts and kick the negative thoughts out. But you have to practice. How do you practice? You practice with every single thought. Every thought is an opportunity to practice. That's how it works. So you get a negative thought. Boom. This first time you kicked it away, yes, you won. You get another negative thought. You kick that one away. Yes. You get a positive thought. You hold on to that bitch. And then something happens to kind of like shock you, whatever, in the physical real life. And then later on, then past that, a negative thought comes, and then you fucking believe it. And you let that shit fuck up the rest of your day. All right, cool, fine. Wake up in the morning, start over again. And then the next time that negative thought comes, it won't ruin your whole fucking day. It'll ruin 80% of your day. But you'll get it right. And then you keep practicing. And then you'll get to the point to where you got that shit right. That's one way, intervention to helping you get out of depression. There is no one intervention that works better than the other. You have to use a combination of interventions and find the ones that work best for you, and use a combination of them. Part 2, and then I'm going to get to y'all comments, because I ain't been looking at the screen. If you suffer from depression, don't second arrow. What the second arrow is, the first arrow was the point of the original trauma that got you into depression. What second arrowing is when you think about that particular thing over and over and over, and you keep reliving it. Every time you relive that experience, it's like taking the arrow that originally hurt you, and as the scar starts to mend and kill itself, because the body heals itself naturally. So as it goes into healing, you take on and you relive that experience, and you basically push that arrow right through where the first arrow went. And you do this all day, and you wondering why your wound ain't healing. Your wound ain't healing because every time you think about that moment, you relive the moment, and you relive the emotions from the moment. So you constantly relive the emotions from the moment. You never give the issue time to heal. So when these moments and these thoughts come, you got to remember, hey, that was a moment in time, and what did I learn from that? Or that was a moment in time that really fucked me up. And I'm not here to say that shit's easy, because sometimes that one particular event, a point of trauma, if it's something like rape or something like that, who the fuck am I to say get over that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the standing to tell a victim of rape or something like that what they need to do. I'm just saying these things work, and you adopt and use them to whatever degree you can use them, depending on your point of trauma. That's what you want to do. But you can get out that depression shit. It's just going to require constant work. And you're going to have to work every time them thoughts come up. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to work. But it's work. It's worth it. Because think about it. You worked yourself into depression. You don't just fall into depression, woe is me. You have an event, or usually it's not one event. Usually it's a series of events. A moment in your life that kind of knocked you on your ass. But when you got knocked on your ass, You constantly harbored these negative thoughts. You hosted these thoughts. You gave these thoughts time to foster. You fostered these thoughts. And it went from a fostering to a festering. You really entertained this shit. You really spent a lot of energy focusing on these things and these series of events that led you into depression. So if you think about it, you were already working. Like you don't get depressed about events that happened and you forgot about. It's also been plenty of times something happened that kind of embarrassed you or it didn't go your way, but you forgot about it. If you forgot about it, you ain't gonna get depressed. You only gonna get depressed over some shit that you're constantly working to remember. You gonna get depressed by things that you work tirelessly at keeping alive. That's what's going to depress you. The thoughts that you work tirelessly at keeping alive. So it's going to take that equal level of work to get yourself out of it. But intentional thought this time. Those thoughts may have been unintentional. I'm sure they were unintentional. But you still worked it. Now you just got to work it with intent. Yeah. You're right, Taylor. People have to want to get answer, work to get better. That is where it starts. People do have to want to get better. I keep seeing this biggest other cat down there. Hopefully that's the mother cat to these little kittens. They get the fuck out of here, because if they don't, I'm about to call animal control. I keep telling y'all, I don't want to be in my room and hear no possum. But are you right about that last name I forgot? Red Favre did have a lot to say about George Floyd. See, black people, I'm glad you brought me back to the original point of the show. Talking about Brett Favre and all that. And the real welfare queens. They got you black people thinking that they got black people being the face of the welfare queens. I oftentimes on the show talk about the power of fiat. That's the power to call things that be not. If you're a Christian or in church, you'll say, call the things that be not as though they were. If you're from a background of rhetoric and scholarly information, we call that the power of fiat. Same shit. You basically make it up, give that, define something, and make other people bend to your definition of that thing. We all have that power. It's just that we as black people aren't taught to use it. While white people use it on us, and white society uses it on us every day. In white thinking society, meaning people who identify as white, they use that power of fiat on us all day, and we go right along with it. We let these motherfuckers call us welfare queens and put black people's face on the face of welfare. That's them calling some shit out that ain't really what it is. Brett Favre, that's welfare. You're already a multi-millionaire. You got $5 million in your account. Hell, Brett Favre, if you didn't fucking spend it all on drugs, probably got at least 8 figures in his accounts. If it's that important to you, you could have came up with the motherfucking $5 million. You could have put the deposit down and then got financing from business partners, whatever. Or hell, rich people like that all the time. They do things with universities, and so you got it. But you take from poor people who really need it. And then you got black people running around here talking about something, we our own worst enemy. Now, your worst enemy is white supremacy and the poverty that comes out of that system. The system of white supremacy is designed to keep you in poverty. And when you keep a group of people in poverty, there's going to be a select amount of them that turn to violent crime to resolve their issue. That's just a law of nature. And people are going to kill people who look like them, because that's what happens with crime. Crimes are of proximity. And we live in a country to where that segregates people. Blacks over there, everybody else over here. Now, if we lived in a truly metropolitan society where there was absolutely no segregation and everybody went to school together and everybody went to church together, there was no white, black church, it was just church. I mean, there was no white side of town, black side of town, there was just town. If we live in that type of society, then you'll see murders vary amongst race more. But since we don't live in that type of society, we live in a society that say blacks over here, Italians over there, Jews over here. Those people are more likely to kill each other. Just like lions kill lions, monkeys kill monkeys. It's just that's just how it works. So if a system can keep keep this particular group of people poor in poverty at a higher rate than the rest of the society, if a particular group of people have a higher rate of poverty than the rest of society, then that same group of people is going to have a higher level of crime and murder, because murder is what people do when other people stand in front of their resources. So if we're not going to give you jobs and your jobs are going to come from an underground economy, and you got to get it how you can get it, whether it be selling drugs or getting it off somebody wearing $100,000 piece of jewelry in your neighborhood, excuse me, that's how you're going to get it. And not everybody, but a select few. But to kill someone over some bullshit piece of jewelry, all it takes is one person. It doesn't take everybody. And then what happens is you get these idiots saying, why we gotta be that way? Why we gotta be like that? Nigga, you don't even live in the same city this motherfucker is. So what the fuck you talking about we for? This shit happened in LA and you live in St. Louis talking about what we need to do. Oh my God. Fuck out of here. Nigga, you living in goddamn Savannah, Georgia, looking at a shooting between two black people in Dallas, Texas, talking about what's wrong with black people. Nigga, you don't even know that motherfucker. Sit your monkey ass down. What we need to do. We need to understand that as long as we have this kind of system that we're living in, we need to understand that there are going to be people who are going to live a life of crime. And they're going to be in that environment. And we got to also understand that in the society that breeds this level of violence, there is no safe areas. No one's going to protect you. You must protect yourself. There are no good sides of town that's going to make you safe and less. And you, okay, if I'm on this side of town, if I live in this big old house and drive that car, nobody's going to rob me. You got to get real, people, and just understand things. You ain't got to agree with it. You ain't got to like it. But it's like math. Math don't give a fuck if you think math give a fuck if you agree with it or not? You think science gives a fuck? You see the moon up there? Where they at? You think the moon give a fuck if we want to see it or not? The moon is going to have 13 cycles a year. The moon is going to have 14 days, 13 and a half days of waxing, 13 and a half days of waning. Right now, the moon is waning, and it looks like it'll be at a waning half tomorrow night. Next week, we'll have no moon. And then 7 days after that, we'll have a waxing half. And 7 days after that, we'll have a full moon. And that cycle is going to happen whether we pay attention to it or not, whether we care or not. That cycle is going to happen. You see Mars is in retrograde right now. It's right behind the moon. It's in retrograde. Mars retrograde. Ooh, yeah, that means a reckoning's coming. I'm telling y'all right now. I've been reading the cards, y'all. It's about to be some shit going down, but the shit is just as, oh yeah. Jupiter, that bright ass, the brightest thing in the sky tonight, Jupiter gonna be there. Jupiter don't give a fuck if you want to see it or not. And that's how you gotta be. And that's how life is. Life, these things are gonna happen. If you live in an unjust society that allows injustice at the top and all the way through, there's gonna be injustice on a low level, and you're not gonna be safe like you think you're gonna be safe. No one's gonna come to save you. One thing about life, there are inherent dangers in life. Even if we lived in a totally egalitarian society that was totally safe and nobody was gonna kill anybody else, you still have to worry about fucking dying from being too goddamn depressed and through getting cancer. You're gonna have to worry about dying through a motherfucking mosquito bite, nigga. You're gonna worry about motherfucking dying through you could die. Man, one of my best friends, his dad died falling off a ladder, helping a neighbor fix something. He was being a good neighbor and was on a ladder helping his neighbor, and he fell off the ladder and died. So at the end of the day, at some point your life gonna end. You gotta accept that. Like, people will be going around, man, we need to do better, man. This is more likely a black man gonna kill me. Well, if he kill your ass, you gonna be dead. You won't know. You gonna be kicking it with Moses, looking for the promised land. And how the fuck did it take Moses 40 years to find the promised land? Go to Google Maps right now and Google Cairo to Jerusalem or Damascus. All he had to do is follow that goddamn coastline of the Mediterranean. He would have got his ass right there. Well, that's another story. I'm sorry. Respect to the Muslims and the Christians and the Jews that follow Moses. My bad. Anyway. You're right. There's no such thing as utopia. People are people, and shit's gonna happen. If nobody killed nobody, you can fucking die walking down the street and a fucking tree decides to fall on your monkey ass. One of my homeboys I'm cool with, his girlfriend died getting hit by a car, and she was walking across the street on a green light. You don't know. My man David Arnold he looked good when I saw him recently. He looked okay. He looked fine. He looked in shape. He looked way more in shape than I look. He just died. And the coroner is saying natural causes. My man Nick Carthon that died last year, personal trainer, 40 years old, just died. Wasn't on no damn drugs. Just died. We all gotta go. At some point, we all got to go. So why spend every day worried about that shit? We all got to go. My man Teddy Ray just died, man. You don't know how this shit gonna end. What's up, Amara? What's up, Bismarck T? So it's just, what's up, Amir? So it's just people, as people, man, it's just certain things in life you gotta accept because, you know, life goes on. Life has its way of living and working, and even though I'm a card reader, you still don't know how this shit, how random this thing called life is. Don't know. Don't know how this shit gonna work out. Man. So, what y'all talking about? So, tying up the whole Brett Favre situation and the welfare queens, just an example of how degenerate this society has gotten, and always really always has been. A millionaire football player gets steals $5 million from people on welfare in a city that has toxic water, a state capital city that has toxic water, that's poison, that's literally killing the people. They can't find a way to fix the water system, a system that they've been having issues with for well over 30 years. They haven't found it in their budget to spend money over the last 30 years fixing the problem, but they got $5 million to take from those poor people affected by this dirty water to build a fucking girls volleyball stadium. Who the fuck watches girls volleyball? It's a game, man. All this shit's a game. My dad used to always tell me it's a game. It's all about money and a damn thing funny. I was with my dad last week, he was saying that. It's all about money and a damn thing funny. And that's what it is. It's a game. And they got us thinking the game is played against each other. They got us thinking this game is that we are our own worst enemy. They got too many of us thinking that. Not us in this room, but I'm speaking on black people in general, the majority. The people that think like us in this room, we're the minority. We're at a critical mass now. That's the cool thing about it. But a critical mass is still a severe minority. We're the minority. But that's okay, because it's usually the minority that changes things. Most people are just followers. The way the United States is now, George Washington was in the minority. George Washington was not a very popular guy for going at England. But everything the United States is right now is because George Washington made an unpopular decision. And the few that followed him you see, when it comes to life, you can learn from anybody. Even the devil could teach you a lesson. That's what the devil's there for. The whole purpose of the devil is for you to learn from that bitch. The devil can't kill you. The devil is a teaching tool, both spiritually and earthly. Yeah, old head dudes, that was dope. You're right. How much can this fee? How money can they need? You're right about that. They don't. These we're dealing with the very greedy people. Too much isn't enough for them. You ever hear that Luther Vandross song? Nah, thousand kisses from you is never. Well, for these motherfucker, nigga, 1,000 skrillers is never enough. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, doom, doom. Never too much, nigga. Never too much, never too much, never too much. That's how these motherfuckers think. Think about Luther Vandross. When you think about these motherfuckers and they greed for money, it's never too much. It's never too much. I should have read. Hey, somebody tell me real quick. What's Brett Favre's birthday? Let me see if I can guess his. Cause I don't have my cardiology calendar in front of me. But if he has a birthday that's close enough to another birthday that I know, I might be able to guess his card. What's Brett Favre's birthday? You're right, Terrence. She's our great times right now. I'm telling you right now. So Queen Elizabeth, King Charles, we're living in an interesting time right now. There's like somewhat of a changing of a guard going on, a death of an old ideology and way of and train of thought. Oh, his birthday's 10/10. I don't know anybody's birthdays around that time, so I can't. I don't know what cards. Uh, I don't know anybody's birthday in that. Anybody's card in that birthday. I do know the Kings are coming up. The King of Hearts is gonna be September 26th, but sometimes those hearts cut off, so I don't know what his card is. And I'm on my phone, so I can't leave out this part to go and look. Anyway, um, we're living in a time where like the old guard is changing, man. It's a new guard coming in, and two big, huge, monumental deaths when it comes to that. One, obviously, the Queen of England, and two, Kenneth Starr. I've been meaning to talk about this. Kenneth Starr. You might be asking me, who is Kenneth Starr? Or if you know who Kenneth Starr is, why is his death important? Kenneth Starr, for those of you who don't know, he was the lawyer that held the levers of government up for 2 or 3 years in the late 90s. He was jealous of Bill Clinton. He wanted to be Bill Clinton, so he found out Bill Clinton got some head and did the whole Monica Lewinsky trial. Monica Lewinsky didn't even want to do nothing, but Kenneth Starr is the one that kind of influenced her. So that's who Kenneth Starr is. He was the person that sued the president and that got Bill Clinton, made him a lamed up president, suing him, slowing things down over sexual impropriety. Why am I saying he's an archetype for a time? Well, pre-Trump, pre-Kenneth Starr, Kenneth Starr changed how politics was done in America. Before Kenneth Starr, there was a lot of bipartisanship between Republicans and Democrats. And before I go further, there's going to be somebody that says, man, it's all a game. Man, it's all Yeah, on some levels it is. Yes, it is a game. Or it's gonna be some people saying, "Well, man, all this stuff is planned out." On certain levels, yes, but there are other levels to where certain lower level battles within politics are free reign, and they do go. And this is one. And this is the level that I'm speaking on. There was a time that before Kenneth Starr, most bills that were passed were bipartisan on some level. Kenneth Starr really heightened the rift between Republican and Democrat. And it changed, it made, after Kenneth Starr really, that executive order really took off. Because Bush and Obama were crazy with them executive orders. And so Kenneth Starr sort of changed the way DC kind of did politics because of the rift that he helped create with this whole conservative thing. And part of the reason why he helped create that rift is because that was a time in America of the fake conservative. I say fake conservative because those are the most wretched, degenerate, gay motherfuckers you'd ever want to meet. But they put on this facade of Christian, right-wing, conservative morals and values. And there was a whole thing about moral. Kenneth Starr represented the archetype of the white, right, moral value, Protestant, ethical, children of Jesus archetype that when I saw him die last week, it just something I felt like, because that's sort of a bygone era anyway, but with his death to me represented a true death of that era. You see what's happening with Trump. Trump, basically that whole conservative archetype that they were holding on to, Trump blasted that bitch out the window, and he opened the door on that, whether like him or not. When they accepted Trump, that was the death knell to the whole Christian conservative, Puritan, we make no mistakes kind of thing. And Kenneth Starr dying, to me, sort of represented, and along with Queen Elizabeth, that sort of represented a death to the illusion that these white folks been putting on a lot of people as far as them having a certain level of values or a certain level of moral authority or a certain level of influence because of the lack of pigmentation in your skin. I really do see their deaths as really a death to that mindset and a death to the veil that people were blinded by people of this archetype, whether it be a queen, a so-called queen, and her royal majesty who's just supposed to get love because she got a fucking stolen crown on her head, or people believing that just that white is right, and just because they're white and they're Christian and they wear a suit, that whole ideology is dead now. And in the whole worshiping of that type, the whole, that type having any kind of influence, that shit's gone. We're in a new day. We're in a whole totally new day. Prince Charles is a six of clubs. I'm gonna do a reading on Prince Charles. Prince Charles is a six of clubs. That's the card of compromise. That's the card of, I won't say no backbone. It does have a backbone, but being of manipulation. Prince Charles, it's going to be a lot of, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a lot of reparation paid while Prince Charles is in office. It's going to be a whole lot. Because 6 is also a number of karmic justice and balancing scales. I'm telling y'all, you fucking Jamaicans and Caribbeans, y'all better leave us the fuck alone though, and go get your reparations from England. Leave us black Americans alone. Sit our hip hop down and go get reparations from England. Prince Charles he is the card of compromise. I'm telling you right now, Prince Charles will give you motherfuckers reparations if y'all go fight him and stop fighting us. So, yeah, man. What's up, mask on? So remember that, y'all. But I gotta go to bed, man. I gotta be right back up at about 8 in the morning. What time is it? Like 2 or some shit? I gotta be right back up like at 8 in the morning. That's right. At Fife Life, your guy and his family better fight. Prince Charles is gonna give y'all reparations. Watch. You gotta fight for him. He's the card of the compromiser. And the United Kingdom and the white supremacy, they'll do whatever it takes to maintain control. And the more people fight back, the less control that they have. So the only path to control, and this includes us foundational Black Americans here in America, the only way to maintain control is to give the people what they demand. That's why they say bread and circuses. They were giving people bread and circuses because bread and circuses was all the people demanded. If all that you demand is bread and circuses, that's what you're going to get. But if you demand something tangible from the government, at some point, you're going to get it. It's not going to happen overnight, but you will see it happening. When the United States is a jack of spades, a jack of diamonds, and there's a 9 of diamonds in the United States yearly sweep this year. That 9 of diamond card represents the colored people, African diaspora. And it also represents another sort of balancing of karmic scales card. So, yeah. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. You said, what does 8 of Hearts represent? Emotions. Very. And 8. 8 is also a very. You got to make sure you put emotion and passion behind anything. If you're an 8 of Hearts, make sure you put. You're the way you're going to advance and grow in life is to have a strong emotional bond with what you do. Whatever you do, approach it with a strong emotional connection. You have to approach your life and the thing that you do in life with a very strong emotional connection as an 8 of Hearts. And if you do that as an 8 of Hearts, you'll have a very strong, big time rewards for that. But remember, when it comes to rewards are as big as the energy that you put into them. So I always remember that when I'm doing a card session for somebody, I may say, hey, this may be a big year for you. You may make a lot of money. When I do that, when I say that in my readings, well, how big that year is and how much money you make is in direct accordance to how you will apply and how much work that you put in. You're going to get whatever work that you put in out of it, but you got to put in work. Too many people and I'm not talking about you particular who asked me this question, what your card is. I ain't. But one thing about us as humans, we tend to, when it comes to that work, when it comes to spirituality, too many humans tend to make the spirituality the scapegoat, the cards, the tarot, the astrology, the numerology, the Christianity, the Islam, whatever is your thing. You tend to make that the crutch and want that to do the work. No. The rewards you reap from your spiritual system depend on the actual tangible work that you're putting in on a human level. You use your spiritual knowledge to guide yourself to make sure you're on the right path. But once you realize you're on the right path, you got to walk that path. The path ain't gonna walk for you. Oh, what's up, Hakeem? I bar. I'll advertise. Email me, info@hotepish.com if you want to advertise. I'm speaking of advertise. Salute to Jada, the self-esteem queen. Lightthemood.com. Get some of Jayla's candles. Lightthemood.com. We smoke 22, 40% off. Gotta holler at Jayla. But if you want to email me, info@hotepish.com or info@DwannB.com or info@breakthroughas.org or info@incenseandashtrays.com. I own all of my domains. Info@DwannB.com, info@Hotepish.com. Whichever one you choose, email me, please, and we could talk. Yeah, peace to you, Five Life. I'm about to get up out of here too, man. I gotta get my ass to sleep. I got a lot going on tomorrow. I'll be working from 9 a.m. to like 3 in the morning tomorrow. I'll holler at y'all. And remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm out.